p.m. and the celebration begins in the U.S. and all over the world. So as you know, Sully, we got three pieces of legislation passed through the House of Congress. The main one that President Trump's focused on that he's going to sign today in the Oval Office, I believe, or wherever he has a ceremony, is the Genius Act. Basically, it makes it so you can't have another FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried kind of situation. So, in order to celebrate, I usually like to talk to you. By the way, happy honeymoon. We usually like to talk about
Yeah.
TA, right? And let's be honest, TA short term, because if it was the time you told me that, oh yeah, Bitcoin's gonna go to 120,000, and it didn't, and then oh no, it's not going anywhere, and then it just flew way past 120,000. Right now, let's talk about the main cryptocurrency that I'm looking at and what your TA is saying for the next just few weeks, summertime, right?
Yeah.
We're saying a lot of summer, all that stuff. But first, is it a good time to buy Bitcoin? Not financial advice. Anything we say here is for entertainment purposes only. Is it a good time to buy Bitcoin, or are we in altcoin season? If not, when will we begin altcoin season?
Yeah. So at the moment, I'd say it's not the best time to buy Bitcoin. I mean, it's one of those where obviously, but in terms of like it being that altcoin season and stuff like that, it's around 48 currently at the Bitcoin season, but it's slowly gravitating towards altcoin season. So
Years ago, I believe it was like the altcoin indicator was like below 15, and this morning when I looked, it was 50, and now it's 48.
yeah.
So can you say that? And
Mm.
that's the main thing. Make sure that stable token companies are backed 1-to-1 with U.S. Treasuries, the U.S. dollar. So you can take a stable token and turn it in for a U.S. dollar in theory. So it's not going to affect Bitcoin much because Bitcoin works with Tether, and Tether in the U.S. is actually not allowed. It's not legal here in the United States, by the way. I'm sure you
Uh,
know that. It's also not illegal also because of micro regulations. I know you live in the UK. You guys are in Europe, former Europe, but it's not allowed also in Europe.
is that
So one
USDT
second.
is what you're talking about?
That's correct. The USDT is the Bitcoin, relies on Bitcoin treasuries, but like, how do I say this? Okay, so Bitcoin basically is not affected by the stable token. Standard Charter, they're going to be using the Ethereum blockchain to produce their stable token. So, did I miss one? Well, tell me, what is your
Yeah, so I'd say it's looking to go pretty soon now. Yeah, I mean, based on like the performance of the top 100 coins over 90 days, it counts as roughly about 48, 49. That's outperforming Bitcoin.
100 minus Bitcoin? So
That's correct. Yeah.
it might go down up for currency projects. So specifically Bitcoin,
Yeah.
what are you looking at? Again, now, right now, we'll get
Yeah.
there. But right now, I just want
Um, so I'd say it's probably gonna go down, but in my opinion, the most it'll probably go down to is roughly around. Let's see here. So it's going to be roughly around 100. I believe at the moment it's sort of reached its like peak in terms of its all-time high. So it'll probably stabilize around roughly around 110k, possibly
so you believe that this
108k
altcoin,
for
so
Bitcoin.
for this phase of altcoin season, the beginning, the next 2 weeks, you believe that it's going to stabilize around 110,000. Okay, so we've established that, right? August 1st is going to be the day. So 100, Okay, that seems about right. So you believe for at least the first few phases, it's going to drop like a rock, and altcoins are going to go up. So Ethereum for August 1st, what's a good price point?
So the biggest, the biggest price point I set out from last time we had a call was around 3,600. How it appears to be that it's still continuing to go up right now. But I'd say if it does do really well in the future, it could likely reach 3,800 in the next week or so, because it's jumped up
3,800. Okay. Okay. August 1st. Give me a price for August 1st based on TA.
So
Stop 2 weeks, about a little under 2 weeks.
Yeah, 1 second. I'll say if it's for 2 weeks now. The percentage of the increase it was from last week, it's been very consistent there. So if we're talking about
I mean, from today, go ahead.
yeah. So if it's from today, and I just need to draw like a vertical line. A minute.
While you do that, okay, so I'll repeat while you do that, while you're looking at that. Basically, Ethereum is going to be the blockchain that a lot of organizations are going to be using in a couple of weeks. Like Charles Schwab in the US just put out a statement that they're going to be using, well, they're going to be providing Bitcoin and Ethereum services. And again, every time that an organization like this, that's $10 trillion organizations, multi-trillion dollar organizations lose the blockchain, they're probably going to be using Ethereum or Solana with an emphasis on Ethereum. Why Ethereum? Because it has a bit of an older history, so it's a bit stronger of a blockchain. I don't agree with that. I believe that you use whatever is faster and cheaper because let's be honest, they're all about making money. But if they want to use Ethereum, it is what it is. So give me a price point for Ethereum the next 2 weeks.
So next 2 weeks, and if it does really well at the moment, then the price would likely reach 30. So it's currently 36 now. So it'll probably reach about 37.50, and if it goes well, the week after that, it could probably reach $4,000 for Ethereum.
You mean for August 1st, $4,000? Okay, fine. Now let's go to XRP. XRP is another one. Well,
Yeah.
full regulatory clarity in New York City, basically around the world. And on top of that, that's another blockchain that's going to be used by major banks. Ripple in the United States, Sully, is already applied for a bank charter 2 weeks ago while you were on your honeymoon. Although you look really happy. But anyway, that's the point. But that blockchain is going to have lots of activity because we entered the ISO era. This past Monday in the US, we had ISO 222 compliance. What that means is that all banks in the US have to migrate from the old system, from moving money from one bank to another, to the new system, which is on the blockchain, basically. XRP, HBAR, and a few other ones. But give me a price point for the next 2 weeks from now until August 1st for XRP per token.
So for me, the way it's going right now for XRP is probably go down to about $3.29, and then afterwards, if it can probably reach around 3.55 dollars.
3.55 by August 1st. Okay, good. Okay, so two more that I love. HBAR and then SUI, and we're going to close it off for the day. HBAR, Hedera Council. It's gone 20% in the past 24 hours up.
Yeah.
And also an ISO 222 compliant project, which means the bank can also use it to send money from one bank to another in the United States. And again, these ISO projects, this is the first deadline, the domestic deadline. The international deadline is actually in November, where basically they're going to have to use the SWIFT system. It's going to have to adapt to the cryptography of ISO 222, which is again XRP, HBAR, etc. So for HBAR, give me an estimate for the next 2 weeks for August 1st.
So for the next 2 weeks for this one, then it most likely reach 0. So is it 30 cents? It's currently 27 cents right now. So I'd say it's likely to reach around 30 cents, and if it does even better, it'll probably reach 32 cents.
Okay, so it's going to be worth. Basically, the prices are going to be below. Somewhere in the background, the prices are going to be where they were basically in like February. Okay, before the crash. So the last one is Sui, the darling of the cycle. You know, Meta, Google, all that stuff. Sui's been up and down. You know, they had the situation back in May where they, the liquidity got drained by one of their, one of their, how do I say this in a simple way? One of the cryptocurrency projects they work with in the background that holds a lot of their money, like their bank, got drained.
Yeah.
So they crashed while they were supposed to hit all-time highs, and they've been coming back up slowly. But again, they have the Meta Facebook name behind them because all the developers, the top developers for their cryptocurrency project, and they are making huge announcements this week, especially with like Walrus, which is the Filecoin competitor, like decentralized storage. So give me a price point for the next 2 weeks for Sui. By the way, I hope you like my hair. You get an haircut soon. Go ahead.
Yeah, so say for Sui then, it goes a little bit, but if it does go well at the moment, it'd probably reach $4.30, and then the next milestone after that is likely to be roughly around $4.50.
In the next 2 weeks. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so
Okay,
but only once it reaches $4.30, past that point, $4.50. That's what I'd say.
all right. Anyway, I have to
In the
get
next two
going
weeks, yeah.
because I have to go. I have a lot of things to do today, and also I got to get ready for the Genius Act. Got to make some phone calls, business calls, etc. I have to do these things with you once in a while, and like again, this was a short one. You're basically tired from your honeymoon and all the fun you were having wherever you were, and I will talk to you offline, and we'll kick it in the future again. All right, my friend, probably in a week or so when things stabilize in the crypto market and we have a better idea what's going on. And again, we'll go back to the frequency. All right. With that being said, upwards and onwards. Talk to you later. Ciao.